On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable is it for you to communicate? I think that we have this myth that if communication is uncomfortable, we must just be doing it wrong. Is that actually true? When we're communicating about things, it's generally about things that are important to us, that mean something to us. It involves vulnerability. And with vulnerability comes a certain degree of discomfort. If anyone tells you differently, they're lying or they're trying to sell you something. So keep in mind that when you are opening up parts of the innermost part of yourself, there's going to be some awkward, there's going to be some uncomfortable, and you might not get it right the first time. That doesn't mean that you don't try. So my very first thing for today is please remember that uncomfortable isn't bad. And that if you're uncomfortable, it doesn't mean you're bad at communication. It means you're trying something new. My husband and I just moved into our new house, and we both are looking for an opportunity to turn over a new leaf of how we manage the household, different chores and tasks that each one of us do. And we're uncovering some assumptions we both made when we first got married and moved in together. One of those assumptions that we both came to realize this morning was because I always went in and did the dishes, or I went in and I made cookies, or I made dinner, that it was what I wanted to do. That's what I had seen growing up, probably based on a conversation that my mom and dad had when they got married. So I didn't even realize that you needed to have that conversation. I just assumed that he would want to come into the kitchen with me. On the flip side, because I always went into the kitchen, he assumed that that's where I wanted to be alone. Guys, it's taken 6 years of our marriage to finally have the conversation, hey, do we want to be in the kitchen together? And how do we want to split out the tasks that are there? Was that a comfortable conversation? Was I just so excited to have that conversation? Heck no. It felt so bare, because once I stated what I needed, what if he didn't want to meet me there? What if he didn't want to go to that place with me? I kind of had to face that fear to have that conversation. But we also came to that amazing observation that we both had assumed something, and now we could choose to do something different. So my invitation and challenge to you this week, what's an assumption that you've made? What's this task that you've been doing for a really long time because you just started doing and never talked about it? Open your mouth, have the conversation, and invite shared understanding. Yes, it might be uncomfortable, but this is something that has been on my mind for 6 years. Do you know how much energy that I put into it for 6 years, being frustrated or being confused or feeling alone? And it took a 10-minute conversation. Yeah, it didn't start the greatest, but we ended with something new. What's something new that you would like in your life? What's a frustration that you've never touched on? Maybe it's time to have the conversation.